Yeah, it's up YouTube. It's Undated Chris, and I've got a deck profile of the top 32.
16.
Top 16 with Luke Smythe, and he's playing E-Dragons, surprise. So yeah, go ahead and show off the deck.
Okay, so we'll go for the monster line first. It's a pretty standard E-Dragon lineup. So we've got 3 Blaster, 3 Redox, 3 Tidal, and 3 Tempest, standard 12 Dragon line. There are 3 Max Cs, 2 Debris Dragons, 2 Corseska, 3 Scarecrow, Landville Guard, and a Trigon.
Why the Trigon?
You've got a choice when you're playing Dragon. You can either play Trigon or you can play the 2 Card Troopers. The 2 Card Troopers, you get an advantage over every non-Dragon matchup because the Card Trooper is so fantastically far ahead. But the Trigon is less vulnerable to the Crimson Blader. A couple of times there I had a Synchro on the board and my opponent summons the Card Trooper and gets the million for 3, and then they have to run their Card Trooper into my Stardust Dragon or Corsal Fire so as to not get bladed on the next turn. So, you get extra damage out of that. But yeah, I mean, and the fact that the Trigon is searchable and you can send it to your graveyard with Ravine as well. It's also a fire monster for Blaster, which was